Hi everybody, it's Mrs. Insulaco here. I'm super excited about this. This is our first math video for our online learning. So this week we're going to be focusing on telling time and writing time. So if we look at our standard, it says tell and write time to the nearest minute. So nearest means closest. It's what's closest to. So we're going to write that on our board so we can remember. So to the closest minute. So sometimes when I'm looking at the clock, it's really easy because it's right on the hour. So if I'm looking at my clock, I can easily look at this and say, oh, I know it's 1 o'clock. How do I know it's 1 o'clock? So I see that the little hand is pointing at the 1. So I can remember the little hand is my hour hand because it's my little hand and hour is a very small little word. So little word, little hand. Hour is my little hand. My big hand is my minute hand. And when I think about that, minute is a much bigger word than hour. So hour, little word, little hand, minute, big word, big hand. So when I'm looking at my clock, my little hand or my hour hand is pointing at the 1 and my minute hand is pointing at the 12. So I know that this says 1 o'clock. If I were to change it, let's move on towards the end of what our school day usually is. What time is this? Yes, it's 3 o'clock because the little hand or the hour hand is pointing at the 3 and the big hand is pointing at the 12. Now, what would happen if the hour hand was in between the numbers? Would it be 3 o'clock? No. So I know if the hour hand is between the numbers, that means, for example, if it's between 3 and 4, that means the hour is after 3 o'clock, but it's before 4 o'clock. So when I look at this, I know it's not 4, it's 3 o'clock. But then the minute hand is on the 6. So some people might look at this and say, oh, it's 3:06, but it is not. Because when I'm counting the minutes, I count by 5s. And this clock gives me a little cheat and it helps me, but clocks don't always have this. So I know for my minutes, it's going to, you know what, let me write the hour on here so we remember. Okay, so I know it's 3 o'clock and now I have to figure out the minutes. So it would be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I don't know if you can see that very well. So I know that right now the clock says 3:30. Let's do another one. So let me erase this. Pretty easy so far. So let's see. Let's change the time. Ooh, this is a little bit more challenging. So if I look at this, the hour hand, which is again, the little hand is pointing at the 5, but the minute hand is before 12. So I know that it's not 5 o'clock yet, but it's pretty close. So I know if it's not 5, it's before 5, my hour is going to be 4 o'clock. And then I have to count by 5s to figure out what time, how many minutes I have. So I'm going to count by 5s again. You ready to count with me? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55 minutes. So I know that this is 4:55. Okay? But sometimes it's a little bit more challenging than that. Sometimes that's pretty easy because we're counting by fives. Sometimes it's in between the fives. So how would I figure that out? I would count by minutes. So that means instead of counting by fives, I would count by ones. So let's see, if I had this time, let's just make it a random time. Okay, let's do this. So my my hour hand is pointing at what number? The 12. Very good. So I know that my hour is 12 o'clock. And now looking at my minute hand, it's in between the 3 and the 4. So an easy way I could figure this out is I could count by fives all the way to the nearest number and then count by ones. So let's do this together. So we would have 5, 10, 15, and then I would count by ones because it's not all the way to the next number. So it would be 15, 16, 17, 18. So this would be 12, 18. Okay, let's do one more. I'm getting marker all over my clock. Ooh, I'm going to make it a hard one this time because you're super smart and I know you can do this. So right now, my hour hand, which one is the hour hand? Yes, the little hand is the hour hand. So my hour hand is between the 7 and the 8. So that means that my time is after 7 o'clock, but before 8 o'clock. So I know my hour is 7 o'clock. Now I'm going to look at my minute hand. So I'm going to count by fives all the way to the nearest number here. I can't count over here because the clock hand hasn't moved that far yet. So let's count. Are you ready? Count with me. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 26, 27. Now, why did I change to minutes? Because it didn't go all the way to the 6. So I'm going to change from counting by fives to counting by ones. So it would be 25, 26, 27. So it would be 7, 27. Easy, easy, easy. So this week, I have my video that you're watching right now. And then you also are going to have 4 more tasks. So the first task is going to be task 2, which is on Envisions, and it is a video, another video that you get to watch. Task 3 is going to be Envisions practice, where you get to practice an act like telling time to the nearest minute and writing time to the nearest minute. And then task 4 and task 5 are assigned iReady lessons. So it's very important that you get at least a 70% on these iReady lessons because this is going to show me that you understand how to do this. If you have any questions, please feel free to call me. You can message me on Schoology. Anything I can do to support you. I love you all very much. I miss you all. And I have a special guest here that I know wants to say hello because he has been walking around this entire time. Let's see if we can see him. Theodore. Oh, he just ran by. He was enjoying my lesson. I love you all. I can't wait to see you soon. Please call, send me a message if you have any questions. I can't wait to see you next week. Bye-bye.